but we're also watching us in cages and, you know, like in chains being killed. And I'm just like, damn, like, can I go to a, you know, a film and then like see something that I can be proud of as a black person?
Good luck.
Alright, what's up YouTube? Back at you with another video. I've been meaning to make this video for a little while now. I know I'm a bit late. Basically, I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the recent movie that just came out, The Woman King, with Viola Davis and John Boyega and a few actors of whom I don't know their names. I know one actress, she was Captain Marvel in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And basically, from the trailer, it looked like an interesting film. And I also feel like, from a media perspective, you know, in contemporary media perspective, or from a contemporary media perspective, it felt like almost a cinematic prelude to what we're gonna get in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So, you know, and it just seemed like it had an interesting premise, because it was loosely based on real actual events of the, what was it, the Northern Atlantic slave trade.
That's dumb luck right there.
And the Dahomey tribe had actually taken part in it, and they were a tribe that, you know, for business, they would sell off slaves. According to the film, and you know, I'm no historian, but according to the film, they would pretty much capture, you know, enemies and then sell them off. So basically, I'm just going to talk about, I guess, my thoughts on the characters and the film itself. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, the main character, and I think her name was Nawi or something like that. I don't know, but basically, phenomenal performance. Honestly, all the actors, great performances. That honestly was like the movie was like a masterclass of acting, in my opinion. So shout outs to all the actors, but her in particular, I feel like she did a great job. My thing with her is that, and I don't even know her real name, but I thought that she was like 12 years old, like, because she looks like a little kid. And ironically enough, she's already like 32 or 33 years old, but again, she has the body and the face of a little girl. Like, so, and what really threw me off is when they paired her with that Portuguese guy, the Portuguese slave trader, or whomever he was, you know, the guy with the long hair, you know. And then, because once I saw that, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, because her character, in my eyes, I thought she was only like 14, 15, 16 years old, but according to the film, or in the actual film, her character, wow, are you serious? Her character is actually 19 years old, but to me, it just didn't look right. So I'm in the theater, and I'm watching it with my mom and my older sister, and I'm like, yo, this is disgusting. I'm like, how the hell are they gonna pay, how the hell are they gonna pair those two characters together when I'm like, this dude looks like a man, and then she looks like a little girl, like fresh out of high school or some shit. She looks like she's still in high school. Damn near, you could probably stash her in a middle school, and then, you know, she would probably fit right in, because she just looks like a little girl. You know, maybe that's just her character in the way that they just decided to, you know, portray her, you know, with her hair and things like that. But that kind of threw me off. John Boyega, he played King Geza, I believe was his name, or Gezo, you know, one or the other. And I was actually happy to see him in this film, and probably in other recent films as well, because, you know, during the pandemic, he was among, you know, the public figures that had basically, you know, spoke out against like a lot of the, you know, social injustice and, you know, different things that had, you know, been going on in the world at that time. And I remember him saying that he was afraid that basically him speaking out would hurt his career or affect his career in a negative way. Now, granted, at the time when he said that, I didn't believe that shit, because I'm just like, dude, you're John Boyega, and you were in Star Wars, you know, you're a great actor. So I'm just like, it's not that he said anything bad or he said anything that hadn't already been said already. I had actually talked about that in my second podcast episode. But, you know, for me personally, I respect anybody out here that, you know, is making a living, you know, through their passions or making a living with their passions, you know, in their dreams and such, you know, especially young black men. So anytime I get to watch these guys on the screen, to me, I just look at it as a learning opportunity and just to kind of, you know, soak up what I could, you know, learn from them. But I liked that they shined a light on the female characters in the movie, but I also like the fact that he didn't necessarily take a backseat either, because the film is called, you know, Woman King, but in fact, you know, John Boyega's character is the actual king. So it wasn't what people thought it was, where it was like just this tokenized, you know, like, you know, pander, like a film to kind of pander to today's standards as far as like, you know, women being like the masculine figures and then men just kind of, you know, just sitting back and then watching them, you know, do our job, you know. So I liked how he was the king, and, you know, Viola Davis and, you know, I forgot the name of like their like division of, you know, the tribe, but they were able to shine, and then he was also able to shine as well. And his accent, his presence, you know, everything was on point. You know, I was definitely feeling his performance in the film. Viola Davis, I honestly, like, her performance was nothing less of what I expected. I knew that she was going to do a great job in the film, and she did her role justice. Like, you know, there's not really much to say when it comes to Viola Davis, because I honestly believe she's one of the greatest, you know, female actresses of all time, you know, in my opinion, because she really, you know, does her thing, and you can see that she puts her mind, heart, and soul into, you know, her work. It's to where when you watch these scenes, the scenes do exactly what they're supposed to, because when you're going to a film, you're escaping reality to indulge in fiction for, you know, 2 hours. And the scenes between her and Naui, and I hope I'm really getting her name right. I really hope I'm getting her name right. But basically, I was very, you know, invested in her story, and I was rooting for her, you know, pretty much the entire time. And the same could be said for, you know, the woman who portrayed kind of like Naui's mentor, pretty much. The thing is, I feel bad for not knowing her name, but I liked her also, and I liked the big sister, you know, relationship that they had together. I thought that was really cool. You know, when they got captured together, and it was Naui that inspired her to pretty much not give up on herself. You know, because she was sitting there with her arm broken, kind of really very despondent, and Naui was like, you know, I don't remember what she said, but basically she was to her what her mentor had been for her, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know, everything that she was taught, you know, obviously didn't go to waste, because when it was time for her to pretty much activate those qualities, she did so without hesitation. And I thought that was great, because, you know, black women are very strong, and, you know, honestly, really, to me, like, they're the strongest beings on the planet. And this film definitely did a great job at showcasing that. Now, with all that said, I did have some grievances with the film. And first and foremost, I felt that The Woman King was a very sanitized, you know, version of events that had actually taken place. And what I mean by that is the film, you know, the ending, the characters, essentially, they got a happy ending.
You gotta watch out, folks.
But in my opinion, and not even really in my opinion, you know, because history has shown that these people did not get a happy ending. So, granted, this is just a sanitized, dramatic telling of events that had actually taken place. But I feel like there should have been a bit more truth to what was going on rather than drama. So I feel like they kind of chose drama over truth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you're someone with any sort of black consciousness, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. And, you know, I was just a little bit, you know, kind of just like, all right, this is just a movie. And you know, the performances are to be praised, but I feel like the story of they themselves isn't really much to be proud of. And that also segues into my other opinion, which is I'm kind of tired of watching these films where black people are constantly being victimized and oppressed and, you know, just on the receiving end of like the most like treasonous acts against us. You know what I'm saying? Because if you've seen the film already, you will know that like you're watching us not only killing each other and hurting one another, but we're also watching us in cages and, you know, like in chains being killed. And I'm just like, damn, like can I go to you know, a film and then like see something that I can be proud of as a black person, you know, as a black man? Like I you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, you know, these kinds of stories are kind of getting old, and I feel like these, like in that light, that's the only way that they want us to really see ourselves. Because when you look at the history of like black cinema, you know, even way back, you know, black people were like mammies. Like if you look at Gone with the Wind, the black people in that film were mammies. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, yo, like that's nothing to be proud of. In fact, the last time I watched Gone with the Wind, as much as I like that movie, I didn't like I just didn't, I wasn't feeling it. Like now, me, like as a black man at my age now, I wasn't feeling it. Like knowing what I know, I can't watch that film, because I think there's a scene in that movie where it's just like all these black people in servitude to these white people, and I'm just like, yo, like I don't want to watch this shit. And I remember right at that moment I turned off the film because I just couldn't do it. So in the theater, I'm just watching this and I'm just like, man, like, you know, can we get better stories? Like can we watch films about, like, you know, like, I don't know, just something better. You know what I'm saying? Something that's just constantly not reminding us of, you know, our oppressive history. Because again, slavery is nothing for us to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like a film like Django, like, yeah, it's stylized violence and all of that, but Django was a slave. Broomhilda was a slave. You're seeing black people in slavery in chains. You know, what were they called? Mandingo fighters. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, I don't want to see that shit anymore. And, you know, Black Panther is another example of, you know, like, we're fighting against ourselves in that film. And as much as I love that movie, but it's true. It's not like we were fighting against someone else. Now, in Wakanda Forever, you know, there is, you know, a foreign threat this time. But the first one, it's just like, yo, like, it was T'Challa and Killmonger, you know, fighting against each other, us watching each other kill ourselves. And it's just like, yo, in The Woman King, it was the same thing. We were just doing each other wrong, like, the entire time. And I'm like, damn, like, yo, what's the sense for all of this conflict? You know, especially, like, the actual backstory between Viola Davis and her daughter. I'm just like, yo, like to me, I was just like, yo, this isn't anything to be proud of, because these things, you know, have actually happened, and it just doesn't put a smile on my face. And I don't remember what scene it was, but I remember I honestly felt like walking out of the theater. Not because the film was bad, but because I, you know, just felt like, yo, like, I'm tired of seeing this shit. Like, I'm just like, it just didn't make me feel good to watch, like, you know, people that look just like me go through the things that they were going through. It didn't make me feel good. And then my mom was like, this is your history. And I'm like, yo, we as black people were the first people on the planet. Okay? Like, a black woman came first. That's why, you know, if you trace back the mitochondrial Eve gene, it comes from a black woman. We came first. You know what I'm saying? The first human beings on this planet, like I said, are black people. And if that's the case, then there should be way more stories to tell than just slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because, and in my opinion, that wasn't even that long ago. So if we've been here before them, then why can't, you know, we see ourselves in, you know, the like, how should I say, in the pre-slavery light? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we all know, I mean, like I said, black people, the Egyptians are black, because Egypt is in Africa. You know what I'm saying? The land of the black, Kemet. Like, come on, man. Like let's tell those types of stories, because Cleopatra did not look like Elizabeth Taylor. Now, granted, there's a lot of Arab people now in Egypt, but come on, bro, we was there first. We were there first. So it's like, how about we tell those stories from that perspective, from a more, you know, a perspective that we don't have to wait for Black Panther for us to feel good about ourselves cinematically. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't seen another film that brought black people together and put smile on our faces before that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Because outside of Black Panther, the only other movie that I can think of that depicted black, you know, like monarchies and stuff was Coming to America, and that movie was funny. People didn't take that movie seriously. Now, granted, yeah, if Zamunda was a real country, I would go straight there tomorrow if I could. If Wakanda was a real country, I'm out of here.
You know what? It's so real. I see some people who actually went to Travelocity. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah.
And are trying to go to Wakanda.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you're that good. And black folks like, hey, man, spring break, we going to Wakanda. We going to Wakanda on spring break.
But, you know, that's obviously not the case. So I feel like, you know, now, and obviously, you know, Hollywood is not of black people. Like, black people don't own Hollywood. Black people have no stake in Hollywood. So black people are not really the ones who are greenlighting these projects at the end of the day, at least not these major, you know, projects. And Black Panther was ultimately created by a white person, as far as we know. You know what I'm saying? Stan Lee, rest in peace. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like, all right, cool, you know, Woman King, that's great, but let's tell stories that we can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that, you know, culturally, you know, that movie was good. Like, it's nice to see aspects of our culture that actually exist, because that's where we all come from. You know what I'm saying? You might be Haitian, you might be Jamaican, you might be from, you know, Trinidad, you might be from, you know what I'm saying, wherever, but we're all black from the continent of Africa. You know, whatever it was called before white people decided to call it Africa, Kemet, whatever you want to call it, whatever it was truly called.
All right, does anybody know what the name of this place is?
That's Africa. I know that.
That's right, that's Africa. But did you know that Africa is the place where the body of the first man was found? My daddy says that makes it the place where all people originated from. That means everybody's really from Africa. Everybody. All y'all. Everybody.
I ain't from Africa. I'm from Crenshaw Mafia.
Like it, now you're from Africa.
So it's nice to see that, and it kind of gives you a point of reference for who we really are as a people. So, like, that to me made me feel good, but just the conflict that they went through, it's just like, nah, like, I hate to see us do that to ourselves all the time. You know, so, you know, that's my opinion on that. So yeah, I think those are pretty much all my thoughts on the Woman King. I really hope I'm not forgetting anything. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. Although unconcise, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.